Good morning.
Good morning.
The roar of the crowd. So happy to see everyone here and everyone over there on, I guess it's Facebook, right, Jan?
Yes.
So good morning to everyone. And it looks like we have Doug Watts will be our speaker today, and Joy True is in the house.
Woo!
Well,
people are here.
Yes. And we certainly thank our house musician, Rick Millan, for all his beautiful piano stylings, as I like to call them. So if you would please turn off your phones, put them on silent, we would appreciate that. Take it away, Doug. No, don't take it away. We're going to sing first. You can take it away after we sing.
You got it.
I keep forgetting. Okay. Tammy, over there. With enthusiasm. There is sunshine in my soul today. It's glorious and bright. They're going with the morning rain. For Spirit is my light. Oh, there's sunshine, blessed sunshine, there's the peaceful, happy moments roll. For I behold the Christ in every face, and there's sunshine in my soul. There is springtime in my soul today, and I know that God is here. The thoughts of peace in my heart, the joys that brings the peace. Oh, the sunshine, blessed sunshine, as the peaceful, happy moments roll. For I behold the Christ in every face, and there's sunshine in my soul. There is gladness in my soul today, and hope and love and praise. For blessings which I need for now are bright in all my days. Oh, the sunshine, blessed sunshine, as the peaceful, happy moments roll. For I behold the Christ in every face, and sunshine in my soul. And there's sunshine in my soul. Beautiful.
Woo!
Thank you.
Good morning to everyone here.
Good morning.
I am so excited. I've got something that I want to share with y'all today, and the message it's really made me excited, and I can't wait to share it with you. And for those that are on the internet, thank you for joining us. Maybe you're live on Facebook now, or maybe later in the week, but thank you for being with us and sharing today with us. Well, I'm not going to talk about the church down the street, okay? I'm going to talk about the one down this way. I'm not going to be reformed entirely. There was a preacher down there, and he was preaching hard. He was preaching hard. And his sermon was on how to get to heaven. And as he was preaching, he looked at the congregation. He said, "Everyone who wants to go to heaven, stand up." And everyone stood up, except for one man over here. So he thought, oh, man. Anyway, so he started preaching more, and he thought, well, I'll try that again. Everyone who wants to go to heaven, stand up. And the whole crowd stood up, except for him. So he thought, oh, I've got a troublemaker here. So he was going on with his sermon. He said, everyone who wants to go to heaven, stand up now. And everyone stood up except for that same man. And he looked at him after everyone sat down. He said, Brother Williams, why aren't you standing up? And Brother Williams said, I thought you were getting a group together for now. That's we don't want to go right now. I was talking with Wendy not long ago. It was an article I saw. It was a Harvard study. It went on for 8 decades, 80 years. And they were trying to discover what made people happy. What made make people happy? And I was talking to Whitney about it, and I asked her about it. She said, well, friendships, Doug. And in Japan, she said they have long-lived friendships. And she's right. And also I saw where the Nordic nations, like Finland, Denmark, Switzerland, they are the happiest also. Matter of fact, Finland's won the happiest country in the world for the last 4 straight years. They have a good education system, low crime, good health care system, and they've got friends. I know some of you here cultivate friendships very, very, very good, and I'm not going to embarrass you because I know some of you do a very good job of it. The Apostle Paul said, friends, with a friend you are always loyal, not easy to get mad at, and you're very loving. Even Jesus with his disciples said, ye are my friends. And Waldo Emerson is the one who coined it. If you want to have friends, be a friend. That's wonderful, wonderful that we can all do that. You want to have a friend, be a friend. We here at this church practice the teachings of Jesus. And Jesus said, ye are my friends. So let's go forward this week and every day, bringing those closer to us, trying to be a good friend, and I know many of you do that anyway. Well, friends, now let's turn to something else. Let's turn to our statement of being. If you would, recite with me. It's on the TV screen. God is all, invisible and visible, one presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am the individualized expression of God, and I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. Joy, would you play for us?
Sure. I'd probably do that.
I thought you could.
I love you. I love all of you. I love all of you. I open my heart. I open my heart and let you in. I let you in. I let you in. Didum, 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 bum, bum, 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 didum, bum, bum. Open up my heart and let you in. Open up your heart and let me in. Open up my heart and let you in. You open up your heart and let me in. And we are loved. We are loved.
Don't be shy.
Very loopy.
Now is the time in our service where we go within. That's an important time. We practice this daily, sometimes more than once daily, I hope. You relax, you release, breathe. This wonderful breath. The statement comes to my mind, God is, and I am. Father, Mother, Divine Spirit. I know many of us came with so many different issues, thoughts, problems. Maybe those on the internet, those at home. Maybe they're not here because they're suffering some problem. I'm also very mindful of the Wiggins family, and Laurie in particular. May they feel the divine presence and the spirit of love as the family goes through this transition experience. Bless Laurie, Marita, Mark, David, Lisa, the extended family. We hold you in prayer and thought. And turning to ourselves, Father. Oh, I know it's another work week starting this week. You know, our attitude says a lot how the week starts. Let's have an attitude of wonderment, excitement, adventure, gratefulness, thankfulness, Divine Spirit, Father. Thank you. Thank you. In these next 90 seconds, I invite each of you to go deeper in your communion with the Divine Spirit, beginning now. God, you are the all in all. This gives me confidence, peace, and joy. And it is so. Amen. Would you recite with me the Lord's Prayer that we've come to enjoy and love? Our Father who is everywhere, your name is sacred. Your kingdom is come. Your will is throughout the earth, even as it is throughout the universe. You give us our needful bread from day to day, and you forgive us our offenses, even as we forgive our offenders. And let us not enter into materialism, but you separate us from error. Because yours are the kingdom, the power, and the song and praise, from all ages, throughout all ages, sealed in faith, trust, and truth, and I might add in love. Amen. Well, I told y'all I was excited about this one. You're going to have to bear with me. I was in the insurance business, so I'm still in it part-time now. This is 25 years ago. I had a client that came in. Now, I'm not making fun of him at all, but he looked a bit like Humpty Dumpty. I want you to get, he's a fine guy. He was a little overweight, which some of us are. And he had a good sense of humor, but he wanted me to insure his shop, which was way out towards Holland. So I went out and looked at it, and he was a woodworker. Matter of fact, he made me a sign. I still have it. Well, it was shortly after this that he was driving his car. He called me. He said, "Doug, I had an accident." And one of those insurance war stories. "Doug, I had an accident." I said, "Well, tell me about it." And he said, "Well, there was a car up ahead, stopped for some reason, and so I stopped my car behind it, a good ways behind it, and I got out of the car, and I was going up to see what was going on, and I must not have my pants on good because they fell around my ankles, and I'm running down the street, and my pants around my ankles, and I fell down, and my car took off on its own because I didn't put it in park, and it ran into a tree." I thought, oh, that's going to be a hard one to turn in, isn't it? That's going to be a hard one. About 12 days ago, a lady called me. She said, "Doug, I need to save some money. I've got my car, and I can save $172 if I take collision off, can't I?" And I looked at it. Yeah, you can do that. I said, let's keep comprehensive, which is your fire, theft, vandalism, windshield glass, all that. Let's keep that on there. It's a fairly new car. But if you want to save that $172, yeah, you can take off your collision. Well, that's what I want to do. Okay, all right. So I took it off. A week later, she calls. She must have had her foot on the brake. On the gas pedal instead of the brake as she was pulling into her house. She ran into the side of her home, tore down all of her guttering, and went down the side steps and tore the railing down and destroyed her car completely. I had bumps and bruises on her, but she's not hurt. And she called me and said, "What are you going to do for me?" I said, "Well, I'll fix your house. I'll fix whatever you did, but I'm not going to do anything with your car." "You're not?" No. Remember, you took off collision just 7-8 days ago. Oh, yeah. Sometimes people do things when they know they shouldn't. That's what we'll be talking about later today. People doing things when they know they shouldn't. I have to fess up. There was a claim about 20, 25 years ago. I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of warehouses in Vinton. And I had this woman insured, and she had I think it's like 14,000, maybe a 20,000 square foot warehouse. She had a small manufacturing company. She worked in half of it. She rented or leased out the other half to someone that stored furniture, brand new furniture. Well, one day a shipment came in with the furniture. And she's just being a nice lady. She said, "Okay, I'll accept it." The people weren't there. And so she accepted the shipment, the chairs or whatever was in there, the great big boxes and so forth. And then she called me up. She said, Not everything was in the shipment that it was supposed to be, and I signed for it all. And they're trying to make me liable for what's not there. Oh, that's not covered. I'm so sorry. I can't do anything for you. I knew better. About 10 days ago, Wendy called to my attention. I was talking to her. I said, Wendy, the people downstairs, they're hardly over there. And I get there so early in the morning, and the UPS package came, and I signed for it. And then I took it down there and put it in front of their door. And she said, Doug, you know you're liable for that. And she's right. I knew better. And this one we're going to be talking about today, he knows better. We don't know his name. Mark 1, verse 40 to 45. Bear with me as I read this so we can get a handle on what we're going to be talking about. A man with leprosy came to him, Jesus, and begged him on his knees, if you're willing, you can make me clean. Jesus was indignant. He reached out his hand and he touched the man. I am willing, he said, be clean. Immediately the leprosy left him and he was cleansed. Jesus sent him away at once with a strong warning. See that you don't tell this to anyone, but go show yourself to the priest according to Moses' law. Instead, this man, he went out and began to talk freely, spreading the good news that he'd been cleaned. But as a result, Jesus could no longer enter a town openly, but had to stay outside in lonely places. We don't know this man's name, but sometimes your identity can be as consumed by your issues. Oh, I know we know Mrs. Jenkins, don't we? She always complains about the arthritis in her knees. I mean, she's consumed by it. And you know, Louise, she has some anxiousness about her. She takes medication, certainly, but she's always talking about how anxious she is about this and that, and how fearful she is. Your issues sometimes consume you. This man had heard of Jesus, and he heard of the healing and the teaching that Jesus could do. And he probably said to himself, God, if you can work with one of them, work with me. Heal me. Well, we've got to go back to Leviticus 13:14. I've got to talk about that, tell you a little bit about leprosy and what they thought of it. I read Leviticus 13:14. There's no read for you to read it if you don't want to, because it doesn't have anything redeeming in it. It's not a passage of love or friendship or doing anything with anybody. It's more of a dermatological passage. It deals with spots on the skin and how the priests are supposed to look at the hairs on your body, and if they see white, and what you're supposed to do, take a bath 7 times to clean yourself and wash your clothes. And it goes on like that for 2 whole chapters. And then it talks about if you are found to have leprosy, you have to stay 50 paces outside the camp. You can't come into camp. It's either 50 paces. I saw some places that said 6 paces. You have to wear torn clothing, unkempt hair, and you have to something in front of your face, and you yell constantly, unclean, unclean, if you get near people. You can come to church, to synagogue, but you have to be the first in and the last out. And you have to sit behind a veil. You can't be around people. This man came to Jesus, and he did it all wrong. He did it all wrong. Let's look what he did. You know, sometimes we come to church and we get behind our veils, don't we? You know, the man, you're not going to change me, Doug. I might have to sit here at church, or I might have to listen to you at home because the wife's saying to, but you're not going to change me. Or sometimes we come home from work and we have our phones with us. You know that iPhone that you got? And, you're at home with them physically. You're with your wife or your husband, but emotionally, you're still texting and you're still at work. We hide behind our veils, don't we, with our issues. Let me take my notes with me. we're going to walk here. I'm going to count 6 paces. 1, 2, that's a little trip. 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got to be this far away from people. I can't get near people.
You're too close to me.
Yeah. I'm too close to Nancy. Let me move out of here, Nancy. I'm 6 paces away. 5. I'm going to start walking the walk of shame. And we do that, don't we? You come to church, but sometimes you're ashamed of your issues, your anxiety, or the medications you might be on, or the fact that you're divorced. Sometimes we come and we're ashamed. I'll tell you a story. I was in an English class, and I don't remember exactly what grade it was, but the teacher had us read. It was a class we were reading poetry and prose, Elizabeth Browning or something. And it was the end of the year, and we were taking the final exam, and we were supposed to compare and contrast some poems or prose. And all through that year, I had been writing in a composition book some poems and some prose. Told no one. But for the final exam, instead of comparing and contrasting Elizabeth Browning or whomever, I turned in my own stuff. And I signed it Doug Watts. Each poem, Doug Watts. Each prose, Doug Watts. I turned it in. Summer came and I was at my part-time job. The phone rang and the manager said, "Doug, you got a phone call." And it was the teacher or the professor. And he said, "Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me?" Sometimes we're ashamed. See, when you're a young guy, you don't write poetry and prose. You play football. The walk of shame. Let's take another step. I've still got my screen up. That was my 4th step. I've still got my screen up, don't I? This man had heard of a man that could heal. Why won't you heal me, God? Let's take another step. This is my 3rd step. The danger in isolation. There's more danger in isolation sometimes it is than in intimacy, isn't it? Let's take another step. I cheated too. I'm getting close now. They could kill me. They could throw rocks at me. I'm too close. They could throw dirt at me. It's allowed by law. They could kill me. Let's take another step. I've already lost so much. Here I am. I'm closer now. Sometimes you don't care what the consequences are. You'd rather live than live in that lonely place anymore. Here I am, Lord. I took that last step. Here I am, Lord. Look at me. But I need your support. I'm out of place. You know, it wasn't the 6 paces that healed this man coming back. It's what he did next. He got down on his knees. You have to hit the knees in your heart. I don't want my issues to rule me anymore. God, I heard what you can do. I don't want my issues to rule me anymore. This man, he spoke to Jesus. We know the names of Jesus, some of the names he goes by, the light of the world, and the bread of life, and the good shepherd, and the gate, and the vine, and you are the branch. But in this case, he's got a new name we've never heard before. If you are willing, he said to Jesus, if you are willing. And then it says Jesus was indignant. I read that to you. Now that is not what we think, because if it's translated in Hebrew, it says Jesus was compassionate. And then he did the unthinkable. He broke every Levitical law there was. Jesus put his hand on the leper. The clean touched the unclean. You see, if the clean touches the unclean makes the clean unclean. But Jesus touched the clean, touched the unclean, and made it clean. I don't want to be my issues anymore. I'm going to tell you, you don't have to be separated by 50 paces or 6 paces from God. And I can prove it to you. You're never separate by 6 paces or 50. I can prove it to you. In Hebrews, in Deuteronomy, in 1 Chronicles, in 1 Kings, in Matthew, and in Revelations, God said, I will always be with you. I will never forsake you. Throughout the Bible, 25 times, I will always be with you. I am within you. I will never forsake you. God, you can bring your issues to God. I will always be with you. I will never forsake you. Do you feel that in your heart? I will always be with you. I will never forsake you. I will always be with you. I will never forsake you. Let's go within. Thank you. Thank you, Divine Spirit, for demonstrating your love to us. All this healing power for all of our issues. We all have them. We will not walk the walk of shame. We are your children. You will never forsake us. Amen.
I'm with you, but now I'm on my phone. I'm just demonstrating what Deb was talking about. Actually, I'm looking for my note.
There it is. Okay.
I invite you to sing with me because we're singing now. This is like a really simple part. You can do it. I have faith in you. Come out today Come out today, come out to play, come out to play, come out today, come out today, come out to play, come out to play, come out today, come out
So easy.
today, come out to play, come out. Or you can harmonize. Come out today, come out today, come out to play, come out to play, come out today, come out today, come out to play, come out to play, come out today, come out today, come out to play, come out to play, come out today, 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 come out to play, come out to play, come out to play, come out. Will you come out to play? Come out to play, come out to play, come out to play, come out to play, come out to play. Will you come out to play? Come out to play, come out to play. Sun shining on through the clouds, shining on. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you. Come out today, 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 come out today. Will you come out today? Come out to play, come out to play, come out to play. Will you come out to play? Sun shining on through the clouds, shining on. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you. Sun shining on through the clouds, shining on. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you. Come out today, come out today, come out today. Will you come out today? Come out today, come out today. Come out today, come out today, come out today. Will you come out today? Come out today, come out today. Sun shining on through the clouds, shining on. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Sun shining on through the clouds, shining on. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Sun shining on through the clouds, shining on. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Sun shining on through the clouds, shining on. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you. Come out today, come out today. I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you. Come out today, come out to play, come out to play.
Thank you so much, Joy. We love you too. Now's the time for the blessings of the gifts. This is, oh, it's an opportunity that we get to give back. Oh, we're so thankful for all of our gifts, aren't we? Whether it's good health or time, talent, monies. Thank you for sharing all of that with the church. We appreciate that. Would you recite with me? Today, I acknowledge God, omnipresent, as the source of all good, as the source of my good. With this acknowledgement, I accept His will, which is abundance in every aspect of my life. I release all thoughts of lack and limitation, and I am open and receptive to the increased flow of abundance to me right now. I joyfully accept the gifts of life and give freely of the special gift that I am. Through me, God omnipresent blesses and multiplies this gift for all. Thank you, dear God. Jan.
I'm so glad that we are so flexible around here. We can always laugh, so I'm very grateful for that. So thank you for that wonderful message, Doug. I think I needed to hear that, so thank you. And flowers today are sponsored by you, Joe, arranged by Nancy. They are beautiful. In memory of your sisters at Collective. Thank you, Amy Jo. They are really beautiful, so thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, my sister Julie had a green thumb, and she loved giving people flowers. So I would love for you all to take some home.
Thank you. Beautiful. I think we still have some openings on the flower calendar, probably later on in the year. July. Okay.
December.
Okay. Well, July will be here before we know it because it's moving right along. It's hard to believe it's the end of, almost the end of April. So goodness gracious. Anyhow, as you know, Marita's not here, and Scott's service was yesterday. I'm not sure when Marita's going to be back in town. She's going to stay a few days with Laurie. So, as Doug said, please continue to keep that family in prayer. I know they're going through a difficult time right now. Marita was here for a couple days this week, and she went back up there on Friday. I understand that at some point they're going to have a service here in Roanoke for, I guess, the family and friends here, but I don't know when that might be. It may be later on, and I don't know. She hasn't said. She said it was going to happen, so as we get details, we'll let you know. Also, I know there are a lot of people that haven't been at church for a while. Some of them have health issues, and some of them are just prefer to watch us on Facebook. But as Doug said, the friendships mean a lot, and I know that we have coffee, and a lot of people come to that, but we really do miss the people that are not here, and so I encourage you the best as you can is to come back and, hi Joy, to come back and be back as part of our family. You're still part of our family, but we miss you being here. And so I really do encourage all of you, for whatever issue you're staying away, whether it's health or whatever, that you try to get yourselves back here so we can see you. And saying that, I do encourage all of you all to look around to the ones that have not been here for a while, and please give them a call or send them a card or something, just to let them know that they're being thought of. Because it's important, not just for me to call them and say, hey, we miss you, whatever. Then somebody comes and says, well, how's so-and-so doing? I want to say, call them and find out. Anyhow, it's very important. There's a lot of people who haven't been here. And Becky Dodson is one that people, she's been taking care of her mother for, 3 years now, I think. So she's not been able to come to church. So that's just one of the people that haven't been here for a while. So please do that. Really make their day better. And just, you think maybe they wouldn't, but I had one of the congregants tell me at Christmas time, they thanked me for the Christmas card. Said, you're the only person I got a Christmas card from, other than the church. Now that saying is that there's a lot of people in this church that send cards. So, I'm just saying that it does make a difference when you do things like that. So I encourage you to do that. So moving forward, after my lecture, we had at our board meeting this, whenever we had it last month or whatever, time is flying, we have decided that we needed to replace the sheds that we have out here because they are well beyond being needed to be replaced or repaired. So we have 3 sheds, and we have decided that we needed to tear the other 3 down and build one and put all this stuff in it. So people say, well, what's in it? Well, we got all the stuff that we store for the store, this place downstairs, our storage room downstairs is just packed. So, and instead of trying to repair the 2 or 3 that we have, we want to make a new one. So that's going to be our project for this year. First off, we have to decide what size we're going to get, and the jury's working on that. So, and anyhow, we're going to try to move it closer to the church. I know it's been down there for years, and Martha and all the others have gone way before that, have trucked stuff up and back, and we're all not chickens anymore, so, and it's a difficult thing to do, and so anyhow, that's our project for this year. So, as I said, we're trying to decide the size, and then we'll get a cost, but we'll be, trying to raise some money to get that done this year. Hopefully we'll get it done by fall, so that when winter time comes, we don't have to truck down the hill to get all this stuff out for our Christmas and everything. So anyhow, keep that in mind. The other thing, I don't hardly ever mention this, but most of you know we have a columbarium out there. So if anybody is interested in purchasing niche in there, please let me know, because I know we don't think about these things until the last minute till something happens. But anyhow, they're very affordable. They're $800, and compared to a lot of things that you have to pay for funeral expense. So if anybody's interested, let me know. It can be, you don't have to be a member of the church. You don't have to be anything. If you're a family member, whatever you want to do, let me know if anybody's interested in that. So lastly, we always hear all this bad news or not so good news or whatever. But I encourage you to see Rick Milan after church and look at his grandson. He showed me his picture a while ago. Thank you. That was very, very precious pictures. So I encourage you to see Grandpa over there and see his pictures.
Gramps! Oh, Gramps!
Gramps. Talk about sending the photos so you can put them up here and just
Well,
put them on a loop.
We can do that.
We can do that.
They are adorable, and it is a sign of life.
Yes.
It's happening. A new life is happening.
Right.
It's good. It's optimistic.
We can always do with the more cuteness overload, right?
So thank you for sharing those, and I'm sure they're going to be wanting to see them after church. So, and please join us for coffee and all the desserts we have next door. So thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Oops. We're going to do our prayer for the peoples of the world. And we've picked out a few here. Ukraine, Ethiopia, Afghanistan. You can read them, same as I. Israel, we understand Israel's going through quite some turmoil here.
Sudan needs to be up there, right?
Yes, Sudan should be up there, yeah. The whole world is going through so much. Let's say our prayer of protection. Wasn't this written by a man named Freeman, I think?
James Gillett Freeman, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Unity minister.
Let's say the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds you. Love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. The mind of God guides you. The power of God abides in you. The strength of God renews you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. And we're going to pray for our country just for 90 seconds. I have some initials or whatever here in our prayer basket, and I would encourage, take a few with you, put them in your pocket, take them home. Pray for someone. Let's go within for our country right now for about 90 seconds, starting now. God is, and I am. Thank each of you for being here today. Thank you.